Today, I'm gonna teach you the simple steps that you can follow at home in order to master a back float. And make sure you stick around all the way to the end because I'm gonna show you the 5 most common mistakes that I see my new swimmers making when first learning how to back float. So with that, let's begin. Step number 1 of learning how to back float is just getting comfortable getting our ears wet in the water. So what we're gonna do is grab onto a wall. We're gonna slowly dip ourselves down. We're gonna bring our knees up so that they are laying flat on the wall. We're just gonna allow ourselves to sink down and slowly let our ears start to submerge under the water. For many of my new students, this feels very uncomfortable. If that describes you, that's okay. All I want you to do then is stand back up and start to try to get the water out of your ears. The goal of this exercise is to build up to a comfortable 20-second dip in the water so that your ears are fully submerged. Step number 2, I want you to go back into that same position where we're gripping onto the wall, bringing our knees up, and just focusing on dipping our head backwards. Now, once you get more comfortable with your ears in the water, I want you to begin to try to breathe in 5-second increments. So you're gonna take a deep breath, feel your body rise up in the water, hold it, get a quick exhale, and new inhale. Hold it for 5 seconds, quick exhale, inhale. Notice when you're doing this, on your exhale, your body's gonna start to go down. On your inhale, it's gonna start to rise up. This is the breathing pattern that we're gonna use later on when we begin back floating. But I want you to get used to that sensation of our body slowly moving up and down in the water as we breathe here with the support of the wall. Once you are 100% comfortable with our body moving up and down in the water, we're ready to move on to step number 3. We're gonna start in the same position. So we're gonna grab onto the wall. We're gonna bring our feet up. We're gonna dip our head slowly backwards into the water. This time, we're gonna start to take one arm off at a time. Take a deep breath and gently push off the wall. Then, we're gonna try to bring our feet down and look at our toes. That will help us turn and stand back up. And this is kind of really a chicken or the egg scenario on when to learn how to properly stand up from a back float, right? Because we have to know how to back float in order to stand up from it, but we really do have to know how to stand up in order to feel comfortable back floating. So the process kind of comes hand in hand. And I think the easiest way to stand up is what I just mentioned, which is just slowly exhaling our air, which is gonna begin having us sink in the water, and then slowly starting to look down at our toes, which shifts our body position from horizontal to more vertical. Let me show you that one more time. So we're gonna take a deep breath. That's gonna help us be buoyant. Gently push off the wall. Slowly exhale and look down at our toes. Then you can kind of move our arms in a circular, almost windmill type fashion, which will help our body shift into more of a seated position where we can bring our feet down to the bottom of the pool. Now, keep in mind, when we stand up, this is really an outcome-oriented scenario, meaning let's not worry so much about what it looks like. The goal is to get our feet down so that we can safely stand up. That, I think, is the easiest way to accomplish it. And step number 4 is pushing off the bottom of the pool into a back float. So let's go through that step by step so that you can master it right away. Step number 1, I want you to push off a little bit away from the wall, maybe take a step backwards. All right. Step number 2, I just want you to dip down in the water. Step 3, I want your arms to be straight out in a T motion. All right. Step number 4, I want you to put your dominant leg forward. See if I can get that in the shot a little bit better. Dominant leg forward, non-dominant leg backwards. This should give you a little bit of support. And I want your legs, if you can, balance this way, to be fairly far apart. This should give you a little bit more comfort and support and not feel like you're about to tip over. All right. Step 5, I want you to lean your head backwards. Step 6, take a very deep breath. Step 7, I want you just to gently push off the bottom of the pool and allow your legs to come up to the surface. When we put it all together, it looks like this. Then when it's time to stand up, gently start blowing out, looking at your toes, big arm motion, and stand all the way back up. That is how you back float. And here are 3 absolute musts or keys to a successful back float. If you forget any one of these, it's gonna be very, very challenging to successfully do a back float. Key number 1, I need you to fully inflate your lungs, and I mean take a very deep breath. More air in our lungs makes us more buoyant in the water. This makes the process of floating much easier. But watch what happens if I let my air out. And just for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna blow out when I touch my nose. There's nothing that actually happens when I touch my nose. It's just to showcase that I'm releasing my air as if my nose was a release valve. Here's what that looks like. We're gonna start by taking a full deep breath. Getting into our back float. Now watch what happens when I let go of my air. I immediately sink down in the water. So key number 1 to a successful back float, fully inflate your lungs. If you need more support learning how to swim, check out our 90-day Learn to Swim Accelerator programs, where I guide you step by step through our entire Caribe Swim Learn to Swim curriculum, and you'll completely transform from a fearful to a 100% confident swimmer in just 90 short days. All the information can be found in the links in the description below. We start a brand new class on the 1st of every single month. I hope to see you there. Key to a successful back float number 2 is head position. We have to be looking slightly backwards when in our back float. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. As we get into our back float, we want our eyes looking slightly behind us. Remember, we take a deep breath, fill our lungs, and then push off the wall. As long as our head is slightly behind us, that helps us stay afloat. Watch what happens as soon as I start to look at my toes. My body shifts and I start sinking, which is also why that is the movement I want you to do when we stand up. But when we're trying to stay on top of the water, it's really important we keep that head looking or angled slightly behind us. Key to success number 3 might just be a little bit of movement. Just because we're floating on our back doesn't always mean we have to stay in a static position or without moving. Sometimes having a little bit of movement in the water actually helps us stay on top of the water. And the easiest way to do that is just a simple movement of our arms, dragging up our side into our armpits, coming straight out to the side, and then pushing all the way down, and just allowing that movement to propel ourselves forward. Let me show you what that looks like. Step 1, I want you to get into your back float. Step 2, I want you to bring your arms down to your side. Step 3, up to your armpits, out to your side, and down. Give that a try a couple of times and see if that's easier for you to stay on top of the water. I know for many of my students, a back float is more difficult when they're not moving as opposed to when they're moving. And so play with this a little bit, especially on the amount of effort that you give during your push downs to your side, to find the amount of effort and speed that works best for you. And now let's talk about the 5 most common mistakes my new swimmers make when first learning how to float on their back. The first, I don't want to say worst, but definitely most common mistake is not inflating the lungs enough. I see a lot of my swimmers trying to get a deep breath and it looks like this, okay? And that is not a deep enough breath. Watch my buoyancy in the water if I just do that kind of breath, okay? In my back flip. And very quickly I'm sinking. Now watch what happens. If I really inflate my lungs, notice how I come all the way back up to the surface. Now let me let some air out. And so it is very, very important that we learn how to take and hold a deep breath in order to keep us as buoyant in our back float as possible. Common mistake number 2. Earlier I talked about a key to success is keeping our eyes backwards. One of the more common mistakes I see my new swimmers making is they have their head too far backwards. Please don't do this. I'm gonna do it once for the camera for you guys at home, but please avoid doing this, because as soon as you go too far back, water shoots right up your nose. Here's what that looks like. You do not want to do that, I promise. So you want your eyes backwards, but you definitely don't want to go so far back that your head is submerged underwater that way, because water will go directly in your nose. Common mistake number 3, again, has to do with our head position, and that's looking too far towards our toes. And again, I know I mentioned this earlier in the video, but these are so important for a successful back float that I want to hit it again. When our eyes are looking slightly back, we are able to float. As soon as we even go a centimeter this way, look at how quickly our body starts to go down in water. But we can do the same thing by looking backwards, and our body can start to come back up to the surface. All right, watch that again. As soon as I go down, look down towards my toes, the body starts to sink. As soon as I start to look back up and get more air, I'm back up to the surface. All right, really, really important not to make that mistake when you're learning how to back float. Common mistake number 4 is we're learning how to back float really in the wrong order of our Learn to Swim curriculum. And I see this a lot when new students contact me who have had prior swimming lessons. Many instructors like to start their students on their back. I have found that generally is just not the correct order. Learning how to float on our back in the Caribe Swim Learn to Swim curriculum is step number 7. All right, step number 1 is learning how to relax out of the water. Step number 2 is a water warm-up. Step number 3 is getting a 20-second breath hold. 4 is front floating. 5 is moving our arms forward and pulling in our pull down stroke. Step number 6 is learning how to get fresh breath. Then it's step number 7, learning how to float on our back. That allows us to create a foundation of relaxation already in the water, which will help us stay more buoyant. If we bring tension, fear, or anxiety into the back float, we are just going to sink. And I have found that the majority of my new students prefer starting on their front and getting comfortable, as opposed to really not being able to see what they're doing and starting on their back. Common mistake number 5 is kind of a silly one, but it has to do with how we actually get into our back float. And I see a lot of new students not pushing off where they're able to glide on the surface when they do their push off. Really important that we don't get air and come up out of the water during our push off. And that's the 5th most common mistake. So when we push off, we're jumping. And then our head goes underwater, we get water in our nose, and the whole thing tends to fall apart. Let me show you that again. The correct way to do this is just to push off on the surface of the water. The incorrect way to do that is to jump and get air, which sends us under the water, and for most new swimmers, completely into a state of panic. You guys, congratulations. That wraps up step number 7 in the Caribe Swim Learn to Swim process, which is learning how to back float. I'm super proud of you for making it this far in the curriculum and taking these steps and learning how to back float. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. That will greatly help me out. And if you need more support from me, check out our 90-day Learn to Swim Accelerator program. Those links can be found in the description below. Remember, we start a brand new class the 1st of every month, and I would love to see you there. Guys, step 8 is coming up next. That is where we learn how to roll over from our front to our back, from pull down stroke into a back float. You're not gonna wanna miss that video, but until then, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.